What's up, guys? Jeremy Conn here. It's it's Pickdawgz. It's the Lowdown, brought to you by Pickdawgz.com. God, man, am I just out of it? Thank you guys for checking this out. Please click the like and subscribe button. That'll help us out. And if you click the notification button, it'll let you know anytime one of these gets posted. And as I always start off talking about my concrete inner circle, I hit my big top plays last night. I mean, we talked about it. I love Tulane. Thought they would win outright. Talked about that on the morning show yesterday. I liked Kennesaw State a lot. The one I got wrong was UNLV. I got to admit, the line movement in that was kind of weird. But hitting your top two plays and also your favorite NBA plays, you're going to have a winning night. And with a rated system like I have, it just kind of shows you what you should be betting on or how much I like a game. And on top of it, someone's kind of guiding you through it the whole time. So text Inner Circle to that number if you want to find out more. All right. Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot that I want to get into. So we just kind of briefly talked about last night. Some things working out. College basketball wasn't kind to me. I was on the Notre Dame under, and I had an over in the, I think, Quinnipiac, and we didn't get there. So a little frustrating, but college basketball, it's been really good this week. It's been a huge winning week for me in college hoops. My shootouts have been on fire. I had one on Saturday. I'll just kind of run you through what I had going on Saturday. College football, I'll do that first. I was on Indy and OSU to go under the total. I also like Texas Tech, BYU under. And then I like the underdogs, Miami of Ohio to win outright. I thought Duke would win outright. And I liked Bama plus the points. I don't want to say I soured on Bama, but it kind of became like my least favorite of the five, where in the beginning of the week I felt really good about it. It's not like I don't like it. It's just weird. Like sometimes when you're going through a week and you kind of know the plays you're going to go on, and I still do research. So when you're looking at things and you kind of see, oh, well, this is a better advantage here, and I'm looking at where the numbers are. Oh, this has this line. That's some weird line movement, and I thought we had some in the UNLV game. But with that being said, Bama, it was 2.5. I'm seeing 1.5s out there. So do with that what you want. But I thought it was a good spot, but of the five, probably my least favorite. College hoops, why don't I do this? NHL, I liked Columbus and Florida to go over the 6.5. Just glad I didn't write Colorado down. I need to start writing that out more, or just go with the team names when I handwrite this stuff. And in college hoops, this was my favorite college hoop slate of the season so far, and we had so many good matchups, a bunch of top 25 matchups. My favorites, I like Duke and Michigan State to go under. I thought Iowa State was a live dog against Purdue. Would not be shocked if they won. Again, recording this before any of that went off. I liked Louisville. I thought they would win and cover that number. Dayton plus the points against Virginia. Iowa and Maryland to go under the total. Where else were we? And Arizona State plus 3.5. That was the nightcap, and I liked Rhode Island, Providence over the 158.5. But yeah, some really good spots, with Iowa State being one of my favorites. But with that being said, as we look at how things are going, let's get into the NFL. I mean, this might be a little bit shorter. We'll see. We'll see what happens here, because I got the football games, these NFL games, I know I can get long-winded on. But I'm kind of running through this stuff. And I just want to say this before I get into it. I'm pretty sure I'm on all of these plays, which I know that's not what I'm supposed to be doing. It's counterproductive to trying to sell picks. But honestly, I'm almost positive I'm going to be on every single one of these. And we started off with the Seahawks and the Falcons. And this is an interesting one just because we have a Seahawks team that just, what do? They just go on the road and they kick everyone's ass. And, I mean, they've come to the East Coast. I think this is their fourth time now coming to the East Coast. And they're playing a Falcons team who's looked just dreadful. Seahawks minus 6.5, 44.5 is the total. So why am I going to tell you to take the Falcons plus the points? I was talking about this game all week because, on my radio show here in Baltimore, we were going over teams that you thought, because we're getting to that point of the playoffs, and it's like there's going to be surprises every week. And I think it stemmed from the conversation of the Rams losing to the Panthers. And how we've thought about these teams. Like, I think it came up because Detroit on Thursday night against the Cowboys felt like an elimination game. Now, not 100%, but you're going to need help if you lose that game to get in, whereas winning that game gives you such a better chance of maybe running the table and getting in. With that being said, in the AFC, I don't think anybody can get ahead of themselves when it comes down to it. Also, in the NFC, you have all these teams that are bunched, but you don't know what team's going to show up. I mean, some of these teams have been Jekyll and Hyde, road and home, first half to second half. It's just been unreal to see the way that teams have played. Now, here's what I will say. Seahawks coming off of, a win where they dominated again. Now they go face the Falcons all the way back on the East Coast. Falcons coming out. I think Kirk Cousins, I don't think he's great or anything. That's not what I'm saying. But I think he's starting to catch his stride a little bit and get back after getting his feet wet the past couple weeks. Yes, he is facing what I think is the best defense in football. The NFL this year has been so effing weird. I wouldn't be shocked if the Falcons won this game. Do I expect them? No. Am I going to take a victory lap on Monday if the Falcons win? No, I'm not going to do that because I'm not telling you they're going to. I just wouldn't be shocked if it happened because that's the way this NFL goes. I mean, we just had a Seahawks team that didn't cover against the Titans a few weeks back. So that's all I'm saying is that I think sometimes people get caught up, good team, bad team, and then that line gets a little bit more elevated than where it should be. But I like the Falcons here plus the points. That's the side I'm going to be on. Now, some weather spots to discuss. Here, let me just do this because we're going to talk about the Bengals-Bills here. And in getting in, Bengals-Bills, I'm trying to see the times because I write the times down for our video editor, and I'm blind as a goddamn bat. All right, let me get to this. So the weather report for this weekend, and I know it's not baseball season, but now we're getting to that part of the year where it does factor in extremely in the NFL. So Indy and Jacksonville, there's going to be a little bit of rain, okay? Tennessee and Cleveland, temperatures around freezing, winds around 10 miles an hour, snow showers, combination of cold, a bit of a breeze, and snow is a slight downgrade to the offense. May look worse on TV than what they're actually playing. Where else are we? Temperature's going to be cold in the teens in Green Bay, if that matters to you. Same thing in Kansas City. Temperature's going to be below freezing. Now, let's get to Cincinnati-Buffalo, the game we're going to talk about here. Bengals at the Bills. Bills minus 5.5. 53.5 is the total. My first look at this game, I'm taking the over. I don't care if the public's on it because I don't see either one of these teams stopping the other team. And then the more I started to look at it, I feel like people are going to go off of what Cincinnati did in their game against the Ravens. And trust me, guys, that defense is not fixed. The defense is still the most horrendous defense in the league and one of the worst defenses in the history of the league. So if Buffalo, and I know they're banged up on the offensive line, if Josh Allen can get anything going, I think they just keep scoring every time they touch the damn football. But here's what we have. Pretty good chance for snow. Temps around 30 degrees, so we're looking at below freezing. And light winds. Again, this is another one of those games that might look worse on TV than what it is actually there. And I'll say this, if anybody's ever played in cold weather, as long as you're moving, you're running around, you get that sweat going, at least for me, I was fine. But I'm also the a-hole that wears shorts and a hoodie year-round. The cold did not used to bother me as much, and I think a lot of that's because of how much flag football we were playing. And my dumb ass would be out in a T-shirt and shorts. I'd have icicles growing on my arm hair, and I'm a hairy bastard. So, yeah, it's just like, you look at it, sometimes it's not as bad. It all depends really on the quarterback and the type of air he has to throw through. Like cold hands, things that can mess you up. Does he have they talk about RPMs all the time with like pitchers and how fast you're throwing it. It was something they brought up with the NFL and how many spirals you're getting or how your rotation is, I should say. Jeez, I can't even talk. It was a big thing with Deshaun Watson when he was coming out of Clemson and one of the reasons why he slipped a little bit. So, yeah, I mean, you could look at whatever you want with this, but the weather, the type of quarterback, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow should not have any trouble at all throwing in cold weather. So if you wanted to attack the over, I'd still have no problem with it knowing the conditions. And, oh, by the way, neither one of these teams can stop the run. Buffalo a little bit better than Cincinnati. I don't know what to expect from Cincinnati's run game here against Buffalo, if they can kind of get it going. But I also think James Cook is just going to absolutely eat. I also think Josh Allen is. They know how important all these games are now to keep stacking W's. So I like the Bills here. I think the Bills roll minus 5.5. I do think we see points. It is a large number. We could still see a high-scoring game and not go over that total. But I'm on the Bills. Let's move on to my hometown team. That's Pittsburgh at Baltimore. Ravens are favored by 5.5. 43.5 is the total. And I've talked so much about this. I went on I don't know if it's 6 or 7 different Pittsburgh radio stations, podcast, all those things. It's been a fun week kind of leading up to us, and with a game that means so much and nobody really gives a rat's ass about. And I don't mean it like that. Like, it just doesn't have the feel of Ravens-Steelers week. And from doing, radio in Baltimore, this week used to be all this trash talking. Steeler fans boasting, we're going to kick your ass, all this stuff. Ravens fans talking about how much they hate him and they want to, remove Hines Ward's head from his shoulders or, step on Plaxico Burress' chest. Wait a minute. I think James Thrash actually did that. But no, even going back that far, but you don't have to go back that far. The Big Ben days, Haloti Ngata putting his nose from here to over here. Like, there were so many different things in that rivalry you could talk about. Terrell Suggs wearing those funny-ass shirts saying, the Lord may have your soul, but your ass belongs to me, Steelers. Just fun times. And then not even just how fun it was, it's the fact that we had this friendly banter going back and forth, and neither team's fans feel as confident as they were maybe at the beginning of the season or even just a few weeks ago, because everybody's like, yeah, if we get in, who cares? We're still going to lose. I don't know that's necessarily the case. If Lamar figures anything out, if his health gets better, if this is something he's going to deal with all season, they're not going anywhere, I don't think. Well, I should say, I don't believe they would go anywhere, but there's nobody in the AFC. Like, do you think the Patriots are for real? If you do, cool. I think they're good, but I still think they're a year away. I think the Patriots are doing way better than the Bears, and I thought both of them were kind of in a similar situation. And then you look at the Colts, who are kind of falling apart, even though Jacksonville has the lead. Is anybody afraid of Jacksonville? And I'm not the least bit afraid of Denver, and maybe I'm the one guy that's down on Denver more than most. But they play so many close games, and when you play with fire like that all season long and you get into the postseason, it always comes back to bite you in the ass. Now, all that being said, this is still one of the more meaningful games this weekend. The Ravens have been really good off of these bye weeks and mini byes. There's been so much talk about how they didn't give the ball to Derrick Henry on Thursday night, and you saw what the Bills did to the Steelers last week. I think you can fully expect them to give him his 20 carries plus in this game. Keaton Mitchell getting another 5 or so. If they don't, there's something wrong with this damn team, or something went awry in the first and they were playing catch up the entire game. I don't see that. A lot of people say when it comes down to this series, what you should do is just take the underdog because they tend to cover way more times than not. But I think these teams are vastly different. The Ravens got embarrassed on national TV. I think you see this team show up. They're also getting healthier on defense, getting 2 key pieces back this week. And even some of the pieces we thought might miss. Nate Wiggins, not sure if he's going to play or not, but he was back at practice. The Ravens are I think they're a mismatch for Pittsburgh. I respect the rivalry, but I think they come out here and put belt to ass. Give me the Ravens minus 5.5. I think they're both teams are going to put up some points somehow, some way. I mean, we have seen some ugly Ravens-Steelers games where it's like 17-6. Some really ugly ones if you want to go back to the early 2000s or even before 2010. Or I guess you could say the rule enforcements that we had once the Colts played the Patriots in the playoffs, and the Patriots defensive backs just basically tackled them at the line of scrimmage every play. And then next year it's like, no, you can't put your hands on them here. You can't do this. You can't do that. It's like, oh, that was interesting. Speaking of that, we're going to get to Indy and Jacksonville, and this is one game I've been talking about all week long. And yes, I am on this game. This game also has my favorite prop play this week. I'm going to give you both. Merry Christmas. Look like Santa Claus, so why not just give shit out? No, I'm kidding. Indy at Jacksonville. Indy's favored by 1.5. 46.5 is the total. Now, let me get a drink of water. I am getting cotton mouth. Oh, man. I think I'm getting sick. Now, Indy going to Jacksonville has been an absolute house of horrors for them. You may have heard people talking about it. The Colts have lost their last 10 games in Jacksonville. Duval has gotten them good. How good? They've been outscored 308 to 150 or 306 to 158. They've kicked their ass. They have 2 shutouts against them, including a 6-0 win at one point. And if we're looking at these two teams, to me, one seems to be playing better as of now with back-to-back wins and coming back home, and the other one seems to have a couple of, cracks in the armor, whatever you want to call it, where they're starting to fall apart. And I don't mean fall apart to where everything's going to unravel. I mean, that could happen. I don't expect it. Daniel Jones with the fracture in his fibula, the one thing that they've said his buddies at Duke, they did this for him when he was back at Duke anyway, have built him or printed him some sort of protection that's going to go on that leg. I don't know if it's going to limit his mobility. He didn't run much last week, so I don't know if that's something we're going to see this week. And when I say didn't run much, he didn't run at all. He had 1 carry for 0 yards, which may have been him just trying to avoid a sack. So, in looking at this game, what's the other part of it that really stands out to me? If you're going to talk about Jacksonville, I think you have to talk about how good they've been at home. Don't count the London game because a lot of people are going to look at it and they go home away. They played the Rams in London and got their asses kicked. They lost to Seattle at home, and we've talked about it as Seattle has just been just an absolute beast on the road this year, especially on the East Coast, even though I'm telling you to fade them this week just because it's just a feeling I got on that game, and we see this happen way too often. But when I look at Jacksonville, they beat the Chiefs at home. They slaughtered the Chargers at home after the Chargers had just beaten the Steelers. They beat the Panthers at home. They beat the Texans at home. And I know like those other two teams, Panthers, Texans, you may say, they're both in the playoff picture. I know the Texans look vastly different earlier this season too. But if you've watched Jacksonville play at home, they seem much more comfortable. The offense looks better. So I love Jacksonville here. And the other thing that I've noticed with the Colts over the past couple weeks, for whatever reason, they've been struggling against opposing tight ends. Give me Brenton Strange over the 42.5 receiving yards or somewhere around there. I think he has a big game. I think if you want to get freaky, you can ladder him, play him over 50, 60, 70, up to 80. Like none of that would shock me if he became a primary target. But my lone suggestion would be Brenton Strange over receiving yards. Take Jacksonville. You want to do a little same game parlay? Hey, hats off to you. But that's what I got for today, guys. I hope you win some cash. Please check out Pickdawgz.com. A lot of great handicappers over there. I do a lot of different videos here. I'm on the morning show on Monday and Friday. I jump on the college football and NFL show with Jay. I record an NFL and college football show with Zeno every week called Top Dogs. Even though the college football show is ending, the NFL show will go on to the end of the year. So, again, lots of stuff out there if you guys want to check it out. But appreciate you watching this and checking out the site. Hope you win some cash. I'll see you tomorrow.